There's no need to be sorry. There's no need to be down. No, no. 'Cause as long as there's you and me here, we will always be one. So can you rock my world the way I love you and it's so absurd. You know I want you now, so if you say I'm gonna leave the way with you at every turn. Can you rock my world? So can you rock my world the way I love you and it's so absurd. You know I want you now, so if you say I'm gonna leave the way with you at every turn. Can you rock my world? So can you rock my world? There's no need to be sorry. There's no need to be down. No, no. 'Cause as long as there's you and me here, we will always be one. So can you rock my world the way I love you and it's so absurd. You know I want you now, so if you say I'm gonna leave the way with you at every turn. Can you rock my world? So can you rock my world the way I love you and it's so absurd. You know I want you now, so if you say I'm gonna leave the way with you at every turn. Can you rock my world? So can you rock my world?
All right. Music's always good. Music's always good from River. All right, let's just welcome to the live stream, everybody. We're just gonna go ahead and dive right in. We're gonna try to get this banged out really quick this week. So appreciate everybody stopping by. If you're stopping by for the VOD, hope you guys enjoyed the podcast, and let's go ahead and dive right into it. What's up, Game Geeks and Tech Junkies? Welcome to A Gaming Moment, a weekly podcast about everything gaming and streaming related, including the news, tech, and software behind it. Be sure to follow us on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram so you can engage with us, as well as find out when the next... Ooh, let me restart that whole thing. I just wasn't feeling it. Beep. Beep, beep. That's for the transcript, so I know. What's up, Game Geeks and Tech Junkies? Welcome to A Gaming Moment, a weekly podcast about everything gaming and streaming related, including the news, tech, and software behind it. Be sure to follow us on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram so you can engage with us, as well as find out when we're streaming the podcast and get a first listen before it goes out across all of your favorite podcasting platforms. I'm Dagan07, and with me as always is WildTwinsFan. How you doing this week, Wild? You're muted.
Good. Looking forward to another podcast. Big topic this week when we got YouTube challenging Twitch and kind of what that means and what changes they've made. We're also going to talk about Discord, Twitch, 4chan, and more to be investigated in the wake of Buffalo terror attack, and kind of what that is and what that means and stuff like that. We also got some banter items this week. We're going to talk about...
Hang on. My dumbass forgot to hit record on Zencaster. Let me run it from the top one more time.
We really have to write the checklist after this episode.
Yeah. What's up, Game Geeks and Tech Junkies? Welcome to A Gaming Moment, a weekly podcast about everything gaming and streaming related, including the news, tech, and software behind it. Be sure to follow us on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram so you can engage with us, as well as find out when we're streaming the podcast and get a first listen before it goes out across all of your favorite podcasting platforms. I'm Dagan07, and with me is WildTwinsFan. Wildy, how you doing this week?
I'm good. Excited to get in on another podcast here. How about you, Day? How you doing this week?
Oh man, it's been crazy busy, but it's been super good. I'm super excited about this podcast. We have some really great topics coming up.
Yeah, this week we're going to talk a little bit about YouTube making some moves, trying to kind of get in line with Twitch and kind of how Twitch's program works. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We're also going to talk about Discord, Twitch, 4chan, a couple others maybe to be investigated in the wake of the terror attack that happened in Buffalo. And also this week we got some banter items. Topic I like a lot. Streamlabs came out with their Q1 2022 live stream industry report. I always like to see that. I like to go through that and kind of just see where streaming is, where it's kind of growing, where it's not growing, where it's, where it's moving. And it's probably the best thing published that gives indication across platforms. So, of course, we're definitely going to hit that because that's a good part of what we're about here on A Gaming Moment. We'll also talk about Sony's new PlayStation Plus subscriptions, and those are going to be launching on June 13th. Rumors of the Nvidia 40 series, RTX 40 series is set to launch maybe even as soon as July. There's leaks that are coming out, and they're kind of saying maybe sooner. So we're going to definitely keep an eye on that. Talk a little bit about that. And then we're also going to talk about a big topic close to both of us, that Call of Duty Modern Warfare could actually have a marketplace. Modern Warfare. We're also going to talk about a big topic that's kind of close to us. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 could actually have a marketplace where players could trade skins. Obviously, we know that the micro transactions are huge, and the kind of macro transactions sometime for Activision, but the ability to buy something and then trade it, and kind of what the implications of that could be for Call of Duty. So anyways, dropping in, YouTube's now going to start. Now, maybe you want to, I don't know. Why don't you just take that?
Yeah, I can dive right into it.
Or,
so let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead.
Why don't you take the A and then I'll do I in one, and then you can take it from there.
Okay.
Just to kind of kick it back and forth a little bit.
Okay. So YouTube has started piloting some new features for its platform. Let me restart that. Get this air bubble out. There it goes. So diving right in, YouTube has started piloting some new features for its streaming platform, and we've seen a lot of really top prominent streamers on YouTube showing off these new features. Wild, have you seen any of these?
I haven't really watched a whole lot because I just haven't really had time to watch streams lately, but I know YouTube's launching 5 new features really that are really aimed at the live streamers. And so the first one's the Go Together Live, which is great for like podcasting. So this might work good for us, and just chatting type of streams.
Yeah, so YouTube is currently running a small pilot test for this. And what it is, it's a collaborative streaming feature for mobile devices. What it does, it allows creators to invite guests to stream with them by sending them a link. Very similar to different type of podcasting platforms, like what we use actually. It's pretty cool. The host who creates a live stream can invite and screen their guests before going live to their viewers. They're launching these features. They started launching the let me restart that. The host who creates the live stream can invite and screen their guests before going live to their viewers. Now, there is a note that goes with this that the guest channel and user information will remain hidden during the stream, and the host of a go live together stream, you'll be able to see the streaming analytics in your YouTube studio as you would with any other live stream, but the guests cannot. They won't be able to see any analytics. They actually don't have any mention of their channel on these shared stream features. So that's one downside to being a guest, but Then again, if you're coming to this person's channel, the main person's channel, you're there for their content anyway, and more than likely the guest is gonna plug their channel in during that broadcast anyway. So you're not missing out on too much, but as a guest, you don't get the analytics that come off of it, which is no big deal at the end of the day. The next thing that they've actually launched.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Did you want me to intro that one?
Oh yeah.
Next one?
Oh yeah. You can do that.
So then the next feature that they've rolled out is the live rings. Gives you a little bit better visibility when channels are live.
So very similar to what Twitch does. Twitch has like the little side panel that lets you know who's live. They have like a little live icon. YouTube's starting to do the same thing. So in your, subscribed channels that you have on your sidebar on your YouTube page, you can see if that particular channel is live just by looking at that little sidebar. So it gives you an opportunity to catch your favorite channels when they're streaming live. And they're intended to increase discovery and viewership for creators' live streams. They're tapping on the profile picture with the live badgering will direct you to the active live stream instead of actually taking you to their channel. So it'll actually just take you to the live stream, which is a nice feature because people sometimes don't know how to search for the live channel, or they might miss it on the channel homepage. And live rings can be currently seen on certain screens on mobile devices, and it will be extended across YouTube later this year here in 2022.
Harris Heller actually talked about one of the things that I wonder if they're going to kind of roll into that live rings is that when you go watch a video, so if you went to Dagon's channel, Dagon07 on YouTube, and found one of his videos, and you were watching a video on some gear or some streaming techniques or whatever, why is there not a little thing on that when you're watching a video that says, hey, he's actually live right now. You can watch him live right now. And YouTube doesn't do that. And maybe that live rings will give them a little bit of that power, but I think you still have to maybe be subbed to see these live rings. So, subs are free, so no big deal there. But it'll be interesting because I always thought that was a really big miss on YouTube's part. Like, yeah, there's obviously recorded content you can watch anytime, but hey, you can catch this person live. You can interact. You can talk to this person live right now if you click this. So I think hopefully that helps.
Yeah, I think they'll eventually, I think there's enough people in the community. There's enough prominent people in the community. Like Harris Heller is actually a pretty big deal with the Alpha Gaming channel, or, what he's going to be rebranding to here pretty soon, called the Senpai Gaming channel. And, he has a lot of input when it comes to these things, and he has his dedicated YouTube rep. So I do think this could be something coming in the future. Maybe on the end screens of videos where it shows the ability to subscribe to the person's channel at that end screen. Maybe it'll have that live ring on it, letting people know that, hey, this person is live. Or on the bottom right corner of the videos where they can set their logo, maybe they'll put the live ring there to let them know that this channel is live. Yeah. I mean, there's a couple opportunities there for the user experience that would make it seamless and make it relatively easy.
And what a great way to get people actually watching live streams on YouTube, because that does seem to be a bit of an issue. We'll discuss that.
Yeah.
Also now they've rolled out what they call a cross. Also, now they've rolled out what they call cross-channel. Oh, man. Also, they've rolled out now what they call cross-channel live redirects. And you might know those on Twitch as raids. So that's a pretty big feature then, too.
Yeah, Harris did a video on this one as well. There's some pretty big pitfalls with this, because you actually have to approve people to be able to raid you or to be able to redirect to you. So it's not as simple as what Twitch's system is, and they're doing it for safety and security purposes to stop the hate raids that Twitch has been having, which has been absolutely detrimental to the platform in recent months. But the fact that you can't just get some rando, like one of our friends that streams PUBG, Callie Ness, she'll randomly raid when she's done with her stream, she'll randomly raid somebody she killed in a previous game, or maybe that killed her, to kind of give them the boost. You don't have that opportunity here unless you the streamer go onto that person's page. I think you have to sub to them as well. And then you have to let them know, hey, I want to be able to raid you. Can you add me to your approved cross-channel live redirect list? And then the streamer has to go in the back end and add this person's username, and it's a hassle. Like, they got to clean that up. Again, these are piloted features, so they're gathering a ton of feedback for these features. Just keep that in mind. It's not 100% set in stone yet, but that's one thing that they have to fix. They have to make it easier for people to do the live redirects for other streamers. Otherwise, this one's not going to work. But
so then feature number 4 we got rolling out is a live Q&A. Great for AMA creators. This is another piece of thing that that YouTube is missing, is that actual interaction with the streamer live. And I think this is going to be another great piece for that.
Yeah, that's what a lot of just chatting stuff is on Twitch, is AMAs of different computer manufacturers or different parts manufacturers going on there, and potential customers asking questions. It'll be great for small businesses that utilize YouTube live streaming to promote their companies, and I think small businesses would benefit from this a lot. But streamers, definitely, hey, come sit in on this AMA. Ask me anything that you guys want to ask me. What kind of content do I enjoy putting out? What kind of content do you guys want to see more of? Things like that. It's going to be really great for that.
Yeah. And then finally, another big one that they finally rolled out on YouTube, and it's not quite there, but gifted memberships. We talked about gifted memberships were huge for Twitch, huge for the revenue. Now they'll be available on YouTube.
Yeah, gifted channel memberships can be purchased only on desktop during a creator's live stream. There's a little money button next to the live chat to be able to purchase the memberships. Viewers have to opt in. Again, this is like some of that friction. So this is some of that feedback that they're putting in. Viewers have to opt in to be eligible to receive gifts on the channel. And so during the beta, users can opt in by clicking allow gifts when prompted. So if you're on like Dr. Disrespect stream or Tim the Tatman stream and you have a prompt come up, that means you're going to be getting a gift, hopefully. And then you can click allow, and then you'll be receiving your gifted membership. They distribute the gifted memberships to viewers based on how much they interact with the channel. Loyal viewers are more likely to receive gifted memberships than first-time viewers. And viewers will get notified with a personal live chat message and email if they receive a gift membership. And they're non-reoccurring, and the recipient doesn't incur any fees. Very similar to Twitch's gifted subs.
Although Twitch's gifted subs seem to be very, very random, because I'll get gifted subs on occasion for I'm pretty sure channels I certainly don't remember watching. So I was weird.
I think Twitch is
not even a follower of.
Oh wow, that's
not even a follower, because it's a weird thing. So,
but
maybe it's a follower of the. Actually, it might be a follower of the category. Like, so I've gotten actually quite a few PUBG gift subscriptions, but I got them for people that I didn't follow, which is just kind of weird.
But this is great for these content creators, these streamers on YouTube. This is something that they've been asking for a couple of years now, and it's really great to see that YouTube is listening and they've implemented this. They have some cleaning up to do again, but they are absolutely moving in the right direction.
Yep. And then moving on to the next big topic here, Discord, Twitch, 4chan are set to be investigated in the wake of the Buffalo terror attack. So a little bit of like, they
You want me to go?
I don't know. I'm just gonna hand it off to you. We'll take the little bit out.
That's fine. So the New York Attorney General Letitia James has announced her office is launching investigations into various online platforms and social media companies following the May 14th terror attack in Buffalo that claimed 10 lives and wounded 3 people. Basically, Buddy streamed the whole thing live on Twitch, and he quote unquote planned it out on Discord. Essentially, so according to a Discord spokesperson, they said, what we know at this time is that it was a private invite-only server, and it was created by the suspect to serve as a personal diary chat log. Approximately 30 minutes prior to the attack, a small group of people were invited to it, and they did join the server. Before that, their records indicate that there was no other people who saw the diary and chat log in this private server. So he basically set it up for himself to kind of, make notes or what have you. The governor, Kathy Hochul, demanded that social media platforms do more to prevent these streams from being shared. She said that there's a feeding frenzy on social media platforms where hate festers more hate, and this has to stop. These outlets must be more vigilant in monitoring social media content, and certainly the fact that this act of barbarism, this execution of innocent human beings, could be live streamed on social media platforms and not taken down within a second says to me that there's a responsibility out there. My first reaction to that quote was like, listen, lady, there in the last 7 days, there were 5.1 million streams, which means the daily average of streams over that same period was 728,571 streams. It is impossible for a company to monitor over 700,000 live streams. I don't care how big you are. You cannot monitor over 700,000 live streams. That means you have to have a dedicated individuals to watch these live streams to make sure that, shit's not going awry. Like, even DMCAs don't come out until after a stream ends. The VOD is created and processed. So during the attack, Twitch became aware of the live stream and removed it within 2 minutes of going live. While that's the quickest I've seen any social media do anything in my book, right? The fact that it was taken down within 2 minutes.
Fast. That's pretty fast. Twitch is not... I've seen adult content going for hours on Twitch before. And then it's had thousands of viewers, and that doesn't get taken down. But a good job on Twitch. You can report channels. I've reported channels in the past that were way out of bounds for terms of service, and I've seen them taken down fairly quickly. But I there's no way it was 2 minutes, and I never stayed around to actually watch it. But that's a pretty good response time, and realistically, with as much as they have going on, I think that's pretty good. You're never going to be able to have a zero number on that one.
Yeah, there's no way. And on top of that, there's a process that has to be gone through, right? The stream has to be found by someone. Someone has to report the stream. Twitch has to then verify the activity is indeed happening. And then once that has been verified, then action can be swiftly taken. So there's an order of operations, there's an order of events, and that does not happen within 1 second. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and if it did, man, there's streamers that would never be able to go live again. If users had control of that somehow, or if there was some other way to click streams off for a couple seconds, I guarantee there's certain streamers that would never be able to go live again because they get trolled or hate rated or whatever to not be able to even stream. So, I mean, that's what you have to do.
Yeah, the New York Attorney General's investigations will quote unquote look into the social media companies and other online resources that the shooter used to discuss and amplify his intentions. The investigations will focus on platforms used to stream, promote, or plan the event, which they include but are not limited to Twitch, 4chan, 8chan, and Discord. So there's a few other ones. They state that the terror attack in Buffalo has once again revealed the depths and danger of the online forums that spread and promote hate. it's a free country, guys. It's like, you know, there's places that people need to get stuff off their chest, so like this shit doesn't happen. But they go on to say, time and time again, we've seen real world devastation that is born of these dangerous and hateful platforms, and we're doing everything in our power to shine a spotlight on this alarming behavior and take action to ensure it never happens again. So essentially, they want to hold companies like Discord and Twitch responsible because he made his notes on Discord in a private server where no one else was, which means, you know, if he didn't do it on Discord, if he wrote it all down on paper, they'd be holding Bic accountable because he wrote it out with a Bic ballpoint pen, and Mead because he used their notebook paper to write it down on. That's basically what they're saying? Am I correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's not reasonable. You can't have, you know, in human nature, you're not going to ever have a zero tolerance, a zero policy on this stuff. So, I mean, I actually think they did a commendable job getting it taken down. Yeah, they did
the best that they could. Like, stop trying to blame companies for shit. They're not babysitters. Like, sure, they own the platform, but how people use the platform, that's not on them. Discord does not actively go in and monitor what's posted on their platform. If they did, people would be complaining about invasion of privacy and shit.
I mean, Discord does have some stuff in place. Like, if you have adult content on Discord will figure it out. You know, so there's some, I don't know what it is, but I know servers I've been on where something's been posted that's a little bit out of bounds, and Discord is actually message admins for stuff like that. So, you know, there is some of that stuff in place, but I'd also just like to know, listeners, what do you guys think? Hit us up on the social media. Is that reasonable for Discord and Twitch, and to have the responsibility of being able to shut this stuff down within a second, or what is reasonable?
Yeah, one of the authors, or the author of one of the articles that I read researching this topic, I copied his last. I want to talk about his last paragraph that he wrote in his article, because there was something really profound in there for me, and I'm gonna go ahead and read it. This comes from Rich Stanton. He's the author of an article on this subject on PCGamer.com. He says, it is unclear what the New York authorities are hoping to uncover here. A chat service like Discord being used for evil purposes seems like a human problem rather than a technology problem. Discord once went on a spree of banning white supremacist servers following criticism. While Twitch's response in this case was swift, sadly this feels like a problem these platforms and the authorities will be grappling with for a long time to come. And to me, Wild, he hit it right on the money. This is a human problem, not a technology problem. Twitch can't control humans. Discord can't control humans.
I agree.
So guys, if you've been enjoying the podcast and would like to support us so we can keep creating more content, we've got a Patreon that you can visit by going to patreon.agamingmoment.com. Become a patron and gain exclusive benefits such as early access to episodes, monthly AMAs, and an additional monthly bonus episode. So sign up today.
And dropping us into one of the hot topics, I always like this topic. For me, this is fun. I like to really see where this is going. We're going to drop into the Streamlabs and Stream Hatchet Q1 2022 live streaming industry report. And Dave, what do you got on what's our key takeaways?
So on the report basically goes over the three big ones. It basically goes over Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. And overall, all the platforms are seeing a decline in growth compared to this time last year. Twitch is the only platform to experience growth compared to the previous quarter. And year over year, the total hours watched across all platforms decreased by 8%. So are we starting to see kind of a post-COVID effect here, where more people are going back to work, or they're having more events in person? They're not having to rely on live streaming as much. is this the new norm? Are we going to start seeing more of a decline as things are starting to kind of go back to normal? I know we're starting to see some increases in COVID across the globe. Could they go up? I mean, what are your thoughts, Wild?
I think a lot of it's unsurprising to me. I believe a lot of people have went back to work. I believe a lot of people, I know from my life, I have a lot less free time available now, and I'm not sure what I'm doing, but there's a lot less free time in my life. And, we've been to work the entire time. So I think that's pretty normal. I think, there's a lot of hype that was growing really fast, and this is going to kind of show you how much did we really grow? How much did you sustain growth over this time? And so I think, reasonable to say, because times have changed, that, backing off, 8% is not terrible. It's probably not unforeseen. It's just kind of the nature of it. And I think it will still keep growing, but we'll have to see as this year kind of pans out. Because for me, as this year is going to be real telltale, again, is the platform actually growing with life going back to quote unquote normal.
Right. So Twitch, which represents 76% of the market share for hours watched compared to YouTube and Facebook, their hours watched declined 3.3% from 6.34 billion hours in Q1 of 2021. So they're seeing a slight decrease. And they also represent 91.5% of the market share for hours streamed compared to YouTube and Facebook. Like, that's huge. That means Facebook and YouTube account for less than 10% of all streams. So that tells you that more people trust going to Twitch to stream than the other two platforms. But what you should also take away from that is there's also a lot more competition. So you might have a lot more opportunity for growth on the other platforms as well.
And that might be a little bit to do with Twitch having exclusivity agreements with people too. So if you have content creators and they're exclusive to Twitch for streaming, now that's a little bit of what we talked about last week. Are they opening the door to let those 91%, stream more on YouTube now? And is that going to bolster YouTube's numbers? Interesting to see how this one plays out.
I would hope so. But YouTube, their watch hours declined from 12 point. YouTube's year over year watch hours declined by 12.4%, and they represent 14% of the market share for hours watched. So, these are fairly decent sized numbers, and YouTube also represents 3.5% of the market share for hours streamed. This kind of perplexed me, especially considering the major signings that they did this year with Dr. Lupo. We now know that Dr. Disrespect is a signed streamer for YouTube. You have Valkyrae that just re-upped. You have Courage JD. You have Timmy. I would have expected the hours watched to have gone up, but maybe they're trying to balance out the COVID effect, right? The people that were streaming last year versus that are streaming this year. So maybe if they didn't have those guys on the platform, these big prominent streamers on the platform, those watch hours decline numbers would have been a lot higher.
Yeah, I don't know. YouTube's a hard place to stream. I'll give it that. It's a hard place to get viewers. I'll always get random viewers dropping through on Twitch. Even as bad as Twitch is with discoverability, people still find my channel. And on YouTube, I'm even easier to find because there's less people streaming to it, but rarely do I ever get a YouTube comment. So it's got a long ways to go.
I'll get a YouTube viewer or two. What I've noticed to my main channel's detriment, because I've tested streaming on a secondary channel called Dagan07 live, which is my quote unquote streaming channel, because I noticed that when I went live on my actual channel, my Dagan07 channel, I ended up having more unsubscriptions than I did subscriptions to my channel. And I don't know if it was because of every day they were getting a notification that a video was going live or that a stream was going live, or sometimes I would have an issue with my stream, so I would have to restart my stream. So then they're getting another notification on top of that. So I don't know. I think there's some cleanup that needs to be done. That was a test that I've been running over the past, 6 months or so, to see, is it worth having a separate channel for my YouTube pre-recorded content versus my live content, because my pre-recorded content, that's what my channel is kind of known for. It's not known for the live content. And was that hurting me, or will it help me in the long run? And I don't know. Results are inconclusive at this point. So moving over,
keep watching that.
Yeah. So moving over to Facebook gaming, they represent 10% of the market share for hours watched. And man, looking at these numbers, Wild, like YouTube has basically hit gone to the shitter on this one. Year over year. Yeah, Facebook's hours have gone to the shitter on this one. Year over year, hours declined 24.2%. So yeah, pretty much a quarter year over year. That is nuts.
It's a big number.
It's a huge number. And they represent 5% of the market share for hours streamed. And they experienced a 35.9% decrease in hours streamed. That means people are moving away from Facebook in droves. Like, something about Facebook is not working. I had high hopes for Facebook. I'm on record saying I had high hopes because there was a way to target the demographic that you wanted to target, because all of your personal information's on Facebook. So you had an easy way to target the viewers that you wanted to target. But something's just not working there, man. And then year over year, Facebook gaming experienced a 78.2% decrease in unique channels streaming on the platform. That's massive. That's mass exodus, dude.
Yeah, I think what they probably need to do is we can change this from Facebook gaming to metagaming, and then they'll fix everything.
You think so?
No. That's what they've done with taking away the Oculus brand. I honestly think Facebook has an identity issue, and like, my kids technically are on Facebook, but they don't use it. And I can say a lot of that of my niece and nephews and even my cousins and stuff like that. The use of Facebook is going down. And I think they've done a lot of things detrimental to their brand that are hurting that. And you can't say anything really too bad about YouTube, right? Twitch has its issues, and we've talked about issues. I mean, YouTube has its issues too, but Facebook has an identity issue. They have your identity and your personal identifying, features. They have you in Zuckerberg's pocket at all times, and it's interesting to see how this is going to play out, because it doesn't look good.
Yeah, working in the cybersecurity industry, we tell people, like, Meta is not a social media company. It is a data company, because they have everything about you. And outside of Facebook, this is kind of go off topic, and I'm sorry, guys. Outside of Facebook, they have adjusted Instagram so much. Like, Instagram's not even about pictures anymore. They're focused more on the short videos, the Instagram stories. Like, they're putting a major focus on that, and they're basically changing the narrative around Instagram. Like, Instagram was the place to go to post, this was like the best place for photographers to go to. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I'm saying this is irrelevant but kind of relevant is, we're content creators. We have our Instagram channels. Wild has his Instagram channels, his Hungered Inspired, which is growing at a fairly decent rate. Congrats, Wildy.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's his main channel that he uses for that venture of his life, his foodie venture of his life. And it's been around taking great photos and posting them and sharing them. Now Instagram is changing the narrative, and they're going more towards a video platform.
Yeah, we actually had a lot of talk about we have to do shorts now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the picture posts aren't as, no one wants to see those as much. So yeah, we have to transition into that for ourselves, and myself and the wife have to kind of transition to that. So
learn your video editing skills, Wild.
Yep.
So Nvidia's RTX 40 series, there's rumors that it is set to launch as soon as July. And this rumor actually comes from a well-known leaker called Copite7 Kimmy. I've never heard of the guy. But he mentioned early Q3, which could indicate a July launch. Many people are speculating a launch at Gamescom, which is in August. But that would mean it's mid to late Q3. So assuming the launch takes place either early or mid Q3, it would be earlier than what everyone's expected, with September or October being a likely launch window previously. And if they launch it at that time period, it would give them an advantage over AMD, and they might even possibly be Intel to the launch of its Arc series cards, which I know there's a lot of hype around Intel's Arc series cards.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, there's a lot to be said for things that can do it, but do they work? How's the software?
Truth. But it is believed that the high-end cards will roll out first. You know, they're always going to send out their flagships first, so that it generates the Halo headlines, and the production numbers won't need to be as high because nobody's going to be able to afford the damn things because they're going to be $2,000. Yep. And man, I've looked at some of the specs on these. Like, it's going to be a 600 watt TDP, which would mean that third-party cards might include a dual 16-pin power supply, so that it could support well over a kilowatt of possible power delivery. Dude, that is nuts.
Yeah.
The RTX 4090 might be one of those 600 watts to feed it, but up to 18,000 cores and 96 megabytes of L2 cache. That's, man, I have no need for that much power.
I'm just thinking about it now. I put an 850 watt power supply in my computer, and I was thinking that was kind of overkill, right? I needed at least 750, I think. But I put 850 in, and I thought that would kind of, give me some future proof or, upgradability or whatever, but not if I go, I'm probably not going to 4090, but geez.
Yeah, it's insane. We just know that AMD will have its work cut out for it if they want to take the throne, but they have a decent hardware. I'll say that. They have decent hardware. Their specs, the price point for it is great. But man, we as a community, as a gaming community, have just been begging for, better driver support, better software support from that company, and they're just not delivering for us.
It's funny because I actually caught a little bit of the WAN show, and it just popped in last weekend. So if you guys aren't familiar, WAN show being Linus Tech Tips, Friday evening live podcast, whatever you want to call it, each week. And I caught just the perfect time when I jumped in, and they were talking about AMD and just the lack of AMD to have, NVIDIA broadcast and NVINC and some of these creator tools that, they're not highly sought by a lot of people, but man, they're a deal breaker for a lot of people. The people that know of them, it's a deal breaker for. So
it was a deal breaker for me coming off of that RX 590 that I had, moving to this 3080. The performance is apples and oranges. It's completely different, but the ability to have that NVINC chip and not tax my graphics card while I'm streaming, that's huge. That's huge. I get to keep all my frames in my game while streaming. Give me that all day, every day, and twice a day on Sundays.
So then a little bit of rumor this week coming out. Call of Duty Modern Warfare might actually have a marketplace where players can trade your skins. And I don't know. What do you think about this, Dave? How about some key takeaways on this piece?
So there's supposedly, rumors are, again, these are rumors, but we love playing with these rumors.
Yeah.
But the rumor is that they're going to come out with a new mode. Basically, a famed leaker called the Ghost of Hope has shed light on more Modern Warfare 2 details. So in addition to the campaign and multiplayer, Modern Warfare 2 is rumored to be launching a third dedicated mode called DMZ, which takes inspiration from games like Escape from Tarkov, which I think is completely cool. And then with this mode, they might also be introducing a highly required feature in the form of a marketplace where players will be able to trade cosmetics. So we see places like this doing this already. Steam's the biggest one. When I first started playing PUBG, I didn't know about it. So we got the crates and stuff, the skin crates and stuff that you can buy with the BP on there. I didn't know I could take those and sell those on the Steam marketplace and actually make real money off of it, which I thought was really cool. So like the time and the hard work that you put into, getting these things, and some of these things are super rare and people are willing to pay a pretty penny for it. It's a great way to make a little extra income. Of course, people to exploit it, but we're not going to talk about that right now. But according to Ghost, yeah, go ahead.
That's the biggest big loophole for me, is what's going to be exploited, and Tarkov's a little bit different of a market, right? You can take things that you got in game and exchange them for in-game money to play the game. But I don't know if you're going to be able to sell actual like skins that you paid money for in COD. So I don't know.
So according to Ghost, Modern Warfare 2 players will be able to earn cosmetics like operator and weapon skins, blueprints from playing this DMZ mode. And while these will be usable across multiplayer and Warzone 2, players can also trade within this marketplace, similar to some other games like Counter-Strike, CSGO, which also allows players to trade their weapon skins, and some even making some money. What isn't clear is if there will be only a certain selection of skins that can be traded, and if it extends to skins earned outside of DMZ, such as purchasing through an in-game store or unlocking through the multiplayer side instead. So there's still a lot of questions. Again, these are rumors, but I think this is something cool that Call of Duty can be integrating in with the game. I think they're trying to modernize. I mean, if you really think about it, they've been putting out the same game over and over for like the last 10 years, and they need to do something to change it. I mean, Warzone was the biggest change in recent COD history. Everything else has been the same. Like the UI might have changed a little bit, the way things work might have changed just a touch, like it's evolved over time. But essentially, if you go to Modern Warfare, the original Modern Warfare, and you play all the way to now, it's damn near the same game, just different levels and different guns.
Yep. So it concerns me though, because even with PUBG, you saw that CSGO, you see it, that people will cheat if there is a financial benefit to having skins. So I don't really see a real marketplace coming out of this, where Steam, you can get actual Steam credit. You can't actually get cash out of the deal. Not legitimately anyways. But I don't know. It scares me with the hacker issues they have and the cheating problems that COD has already. Even though this is supposedly on a new engine, it does incentivize cheating, in my humble opinion, more so. So we'll see.
We'll see. And finally, Sony has And finally, Sony's new PlayStation Plus subscriptions are set to launch June 13th, and they've actually put out a list of games that's going to come with it. But it's not the games that they're sending with it, it's the games that they're not including with it, which has me befuddled, to use a word of a good TikToker that I like to watch. It has my brain absolutely befuddled. The PlayStation Plus options are very similar to like Xbox's Game Pass Ultimate. There you'll get free games that you can a selection of free games that you can play. But unlike Microsoft, they're not gonna include first party games within the subscription package, like day one, to be able to play these games day one. Like with Xbox, you can play games like Halo Infinite, Gears 5, Forza Horizon. All those you can play.
Flight 2020 is a big one.
Yeah, Flight 2020. But PlayStation's not going to allow you to play games like Horizon Zero Dawn or Horizon Forbidden West or, my God, Wildy, Gran Turismo 7. Like, that's a huge title for the PlayStation, and you're not going to be able to play that day one unless if they set up a subscription for PlayStation that would allow me to play GT7 on my PC, if I could even play that on my PC, I'm in. I would buy the game, but probably not going to buy a PS5 just to get the game. And I don't think right now they have the ability like what Microsoft does with the Game Pass Ultimate to be able to have a marketplace for PC games. I don't think they're going to have that at launch, and that's why I'm thinking that the cost of it is actually going to be a little less. The PlayStation Plus Essentials is $9.99 a month, and that includes basic access to online services, just like the current / previous Plus subscription. They have another one that's going to be $14.99 a month, but that allows you to have like PS3 titles, an extra 340 games, and the ability to stream PS3 titles from anywhere. The original one is going to have PS4 and PS5 games. So I think they're still missing the mark. I think Microsoft still has their nuts in their hand, and they're giving them a good tug, and they're saying, we own you still. Your hardware might be better, but everything else that we have that's not hardware is better, and that's why people choose us over PlayStation.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see. We'll have to see. A little bit not as good as a sell as Microsoft, so we'll see if it can actually compete. I actually just read an article shortly before we went live here that Microsoft's not doing so well on their Game Pass either. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see where this goes. Doesn't look good for either one of them at the moment, but I'm still a member.
Yeah, me too. So we have a couple follow-ups here. There are actually some pretty good ones. So going back to our VR chat that we had with Kyle Doran of the Net VR.
Yep.
I came across an article where the title of it was "People Can't Explain What the Metaverse Is, but They're Very Excited for It." So you can say metaverse, again, the buzzword metaverse, and people are like, oh, yes. But 66% of those who think they know what the metaverse is believe it will be life-changing. And a recent survey shows that many people have heard of the metaverse, but only a fraction of them can explain what it is. And, that's not surprising, considering that depending on who you ask, the metaverse is either the next evolution of the internet or mostly nonsense, as it lacks, clear definition, which, again, is something that we had talked about with Kyle Doran of the Net VR here a while back.
Yeah.
He stated that the metaverse is everything that you do online. Any interaction that you have with a website, we'll call it Web 3.0. Any interaction that you have on a website, whether you're purchasing stuff on like Amazon, that's a metaverse. That's an online store that you're making purchases for instead of going to, a physical store. 74% of people surveyed have heard of the metaverse, which is nearly double from the year prior. And I think this has to do with, Facebook rebranding itself to Meta. They're kind of doubling down on this. and that same percentage also thinks that the metaverse is the future, and yet only 15% of those folks say they know what the metaverse is and can explain it to somebody else. So it's still a very new concept to people.
Yep.
And everybody's chief concern with this right now is data protection and cyberbullying, that, for parents, since most of them consider it a digital platform for socializing. Like I think I talked about in this episode, like there's a poker game that I play on the Oculus Quest 2 where I'm sitting down at a table with six, 7 other people shooting the shit, and we're talking to each other, playing poker, and it feels like you're actually there. You can sit there and you can call people, all sorts of weird names, and there's that opportunity for bullying and all that other stuff in there, and it's just that's more of a social thing than it is playing poker. I mean, really. Yeah.
If you're really serious about poker, you don't. Poker VR is not really probably your place, but it's fun. It's fun. You can't deny that it's not fun.
And especially in this COVID world where people might not want to go to the bar or go to these poker clubs and go play poker, sit next to these people who smoke and all this other stuff, but they still want to get that feeling of playing the game. It's really awesome. So yep. Do I see it as the future? I think so. Is the future there already? Maybe. We talked about like Ready Gamer 1. Like, is that where we're in the infancy of going to?
Yep.
One thing I did find pretty surprising was the general acceptance of like NFTs, non-fungible tokens, when related to retail. 60% of those familiar with the metaverse think that brands should be making and selling digital products alongside physical goods. Even with all the current volatility on anything blockchain related, people still see the potential in metaverse, whatever it is. And for me, this is where I disagree. I think if brands are selling a physical product, they can sell a digital version, but it shouldn't be prioritized. I think artists should be heavy into NFTs as a way to keep their art in a condition that doesn't degrade over time. So, think Mona Lisa, but you never have to worry about the canvas and the paints breaking down, someone touching it, kind of all that good stuff. I think that's a really great way for artists and photographers even to, get their stuff known and keep things one of a kind. I think that's really awesome, but I don't want to see Nike NFTs that are going for $700-800 for a piece of digital art that means absolutely nothing in 3 to 5 years.
I still have a hard time with NFTs, and I guess I had a hard time with Bitcoin in the beginning, unfortunately. But who's to say? I don't know. It's a gamble. Do you want to gamble with your money?
Well, we know somebody who did. We know somebody who did gamble, and that brings us to our next follow up. That the hedge fund that was trying to bet, one of the hedge funds that was betting against the GameStop stock, they're shutting down. So if you guys don't remember, in 2021, a remarkable financial story emerged from Wall Street Bets subreddit, the one that saw subreddit's stonk memes eventually turning into the GameStop stock surge. It was such a spike and caused such huge losses for some companies that the event has been the subject of a congressional hearing. Now, one of the hedge funds most impacted by GameStop's surge in its value has told its investors it's shutting down. So that company's called Melvin Capital, which is run by Gabe Plotkin, and they were heavily invested in shortening GameStop stock, among other theoretically similar stocks such as AMC, but essentially betting that its share price would fall as people moved away from brick and mortar retails. And then basically everybody on that subreddit just told this company, fuck you, and then they skyrocketed. Their stock soared by more than 2,400%. And Melvin Capital began 2021 with $12 billion in assets. By the end of January, it had lost 53% of its value. That's that's a fuck you if I've ever heard one.
Well, let's put it out there too that I don't know that GameStop and AMC and any of the other ones that are kind of wrapped up in this stock market bullshit. I don't know that that's done, and I think we're gonna still see some big fireworks out of this deal. But this is good to see some of the bricks starting to crumble on some of the evil perpetrators of their this stunt. And being called out by Reddit. Reddit just said this is bullshit, and we're gonna call you on it. And it's working.
Yeah, this reminds me of that scene in, what was it, Fight Club, where what's his name? What's the main guy's name? Not.
Oh, it's too long for me. Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt, there we go. Where Brad Pitt was they got this guy in the bathroom, and he was saying, "We're the people who pick up your trash. We're the people who do all the dirty work for you. We're the people who keep you safe at night. Do not fuck with us." Pretty much, right? I'm paraphrasing. That's the same people that made these stocks surge so much. Like we are gamers. We are people who enjoy this. Like we have expendable money. You know, we're at that age where we grew up with GameStop. You know, do not fuck with us. That's how I took it.
It's deeper than it's far deeper than that. But yes.
So to cap this topic off, basically Melvin Capital reached out to the people that they're helping out with, and they said that, hey, we're going to return all of our money to you. We're going to get rid of all of our assets, and we're shutting down. So sucks to be them.
Yep. Hey, I just want to shout out here, if Bodie, if you're still watching, right now you can pre-order an Xbox Series X on Microsoft's website. If you go to that link that I posted, the nowinstock.com, you can pre-order one. I don't know if you're up for that, but just letting you know.
Dopest dope. So, hey, guys, if you haven't... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So, hey, guys, if you haven't already, be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram so you can engage with us, as well as find out when we're streaming the podcast and get a first listen before it goes out across all of your favorite podcasting platforms. So, do it.
So, guys, we just got one question of the week this week, and I think Dave put this one out to me, and he just wants to know... And same goes out to you guys. So hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, whatever. Just let us know, if knowing now what you guys know, if you were to start your gaming streaming career over again, what's the one thing you'd do differently? And so you posed this to me, Dave. I'm going to let you tell me first.
So knowing what I know now, I would, I've been doing this since... 2017, I think.
17, yep.
I would have been streaming across multiple platforms. To be honest, I putting all my eggs in the Twitch basket. It's back then, that was like the surge of streaming. Like I got in like right as the surge was starting. I had a buddy of mine like, hey, we play a lot of Call of Duty, we play a lot of zombies. I'm starting to stream. There's an opportunity to make money. I was like, all right, cool. I'll join in on it. I didn't have a PC at the time. I was streaming straight from my Xbox. That was a shitty experience. First of all, that's a shitty viewer experience, because as a streamer, if you want to see your chat, you have to pull it up on your phone. You can't. You're focused in on your game. You can't look over on your phone. It's not as easy on, like, as a PC. You can just glance over at another screen. There's no overlays. There's no interaction or anything. I would have done it. I would have started streaming on PC and streaming to multiple platforms. That's what I would have done. I think the big one, the main one though, the one thing that I would have done differently was streaming across different platforms and building an audience on YouTube and Twitch. I don't remember correctly if YouTube had a streaming service back in 2017. I think they had just started YouTube gaming back in 2017, but you know, I would have been one of the first creators on that platform, and hopefully would have used that as a surge of growth. And yeah, that's where I would have went with it, man. What about you, Wild?
Yeah, so for me, like I only started on PC, and to be honest, I got streaming because my kids want to be, you know, they want every kid, yes, kids today, they all want to be content creators, they want to be YouTubers, right? And I've always said that that's not YouTubing, and the video and the content is always the easy part. And for me, the thing I wish and I'm working on now is I wish I would have done more of the actual content creation, because I think the content creation, your YouTube, your videos that people can go back and see and stuff, and now TikToks are a big one. That really helps push your brand, and that's something that people can come by and see 24/7, and not just when you're live. So now, instead of just working, you know, multiple platforms, which I wish I would have done more so in the beginning, there's also the point of, can you continue to build content while you live stream? And so I think that's a key piece. And so for me, I wish I would have built more content on YouTube, and Harris Heller's real big about that. And it's like, because that content keeps working for you the entire time. And Dave, your channel's still pretty small yet, but you have a fair bit of content up, and you still find that content keeps working for you over time. And I think that's my big gap, is I rely too much on streaming alone to be the thing. And it's really, streaming is like the cream of the crop, right? That's like, it's almost a reward for being a good content creator, I think, in some ways, because if you're a good content creator, like, you get to reap the rewards of that 24/7 with a good channel, and as a live streamer, you get to actively get out and engage your audience, and I think that's kind of a good thing. And you know, it's hard for a lot of people. I see a lot of people take streaming really hard, and the content creators work really hard, and it's hard to at least for me, I'm glad that I didn't rely on streaming as a quit my job and go full-time streaming, because well, obviously it was small, that wasn't going to work anyways, but there's a lot of people that have done it, even as kind of small creators. And it's hard to when you do that, because you end up valuing your work based on how much money you're making, and that doesn't really, those aren't equal equations, especially because when you start something, and guys, the gaming moment has so many ungodful hours behind the scenes of what you guys ever see, such limited content, that it takes us a lot of work to get there, and a lot of work behind the scenes to present the podcast, because ultimately we're a podcast. We're not as much a stream as, although we do stream now, the podcast. It's all those little pieces that really add up, that are a lot of work. And in my journey, I'm glad I've learned these things, because now I can help my kids do this stuff. I can help my wife start making, you know, short video content, TikToks, whatever you want to call them, YouTube shorts, for, you know, our food channel. So
yeah, that's a damn good answer. Like, you know, I have your sentiment. Like, you know, setting up a good YouTube channel to have that, you know, good dedicated content before streaming. Like, don't jump straight into streaming and expect it to be successful. You need to build an audience before you actually start streaming. Otherwise, you know, you're going to start streaming, you're going to stream to 0 people for months, you know, and you
can do that simultaneously, you know, but the key piece for me is build that content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like Wildy said, you know, we're both doing that, you know. Personally, you can check out Wild's YouTube channel. How many videos do you have?
I don't. My YouTube channel's not. I'm not building the content. I need to. I have I have a list of videos that I have the content to go up, but it's hard. It's hard to get started. It's hard to get. I want to get a script. I want to get something down that's reproducible. I have right now, guys. I got that's not one. I have a Elgato light right here. I got Elgato Key Light Mini. I want to do reviews on that. I got a couple different lights here from Amazon, and I want to do reviews on these. But how do I quantify how good it is? And that's the hard part for me, getting the video out with a review. So I'm still working on it, and that's where I got to be better.
Wild, I'm gonna tell you something that comes that the CEO and founder of a very big YouTube channel that I follow, Think Media, Sean Cannell, who's the CEO. The most important thing that you can do is just hit record. Your video, and this goes out to everybody. The most important thing you can do when creating content or starting a stream is just hit record. You're not going to create your best content the first time if you keep procrastinating and waiting. Oh, I want to change the scene, or I don't have the right overlays or anything like that. You're going to keep saying that, and you're never going to hit the record button. Hit record. Start making your mistakes. If you go look at some of my way earlier videos, shitty sound quality, shitty lighting, shitty content, all three. But I've learned, you can see the progression throughout the years that I've been doing this, shitty editing. I've started to learn editing a little bit better. I've started to learn sound design a little bit better. I've started to learn, set design a little bit better, all that good stuff. And you only learn that by doing. So just hit record, get it done. You don't have to create a script. Just, create some talking points.
Yep.
So that's going to be it for this episode, guys. I'm excited to see how YouTube is going to grow with these new features for streamers. And then the next episode, we'll talk about a new game that's supposedly going to sweep the nation called Multiverse. I've been seeing it kind of all over the internet and all over social media, so I'm kind of curious. And it has a lot of my favorite characters from across multiple different things, like that's owned by Warner Brothers, like DC and Scooby-Doo and all sorts of good stuff. There's all sorts of characters in there. So thank you guys for listening in. Consider our Patreon to support the podcast, and also by going to merch.agamingmoment.com and picking up some of that sweet, sweet swag. Subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting platform, and be sure to leave us a 5-star review of the podcast. Also, check back weekly for the next episode. And until next time, guys, keep grinding.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for hanging out, everybody, on the stream.
Leave the stream live for a second. I just want to know if stream-wise, you guys got any questions. Appreciate you guys dropping in and finding the stream tonight, because we're small. If I don't know if you guys follow us on any social medias or whatever, but please do. And I just want to know if you guys had any other questions or anything you wanted to ask of us while we're here. Before we kill the podcast, because again, we do the podcast as a podcast. The streaming's just because we have to do 95% of this anyways to get the podcast up. So the stream is just kind of the bonus reward. So if you guys drop in, I always want to make sure that at the end we give you guys any time or whatever to answer any questions and that. So thanks, dude. I appreciate it. We have spent a massive amount of time trying to make sure we're well lit and the audio is good. We both have very good mics, and again, we don't have even crazy money in our setups, and our lights aren't even expensive, but the green screens and just all the little pieces, it adds up to a lot. So again, you can follow us on or find our podcast on any of the major podcasting platforms. This one will probably go up
in a couple days.
You guys have seen it, but yeah, it'll probably be Friday-ish, depending on our editing schedule. But either way, I appreciate you guys dropping in and checking out the stream tonight.
Yeah, stay tuned to our social media platforms. We do post when we go live with the podcast as well. Both the audio version and when we record like this. You'll notice that, we went back and had to, we have a script that we follow, but it's not a fully fledged out written script. It's basically just talking points. So you'll see us kind of go back and when we make mistakes, and we'll go back and reread. So that's one of the downsides of actually watching the live one, the live stream. And what we should be doing is we should be going back and editing the live stream and putting out the finished polished copy, but we don't, which is fine. But we appreciate the interaction. That's why we do live stream, to give you guys an opportunity to ask questions to us. And as that was just posted, if you have gaming clips that you want posted across social media, send it to us. We'll make a TikTok, Instagram reel, all that good stuff out of it, and post it on our across our social media platforms to help get you more exposure as well.
Yeah, give you credit.
All try to grow, we all try to grow together. And, we do the hard work. Well, you do the hard work of creating the gaming moment. We do the other hard work of editing it and making it look good and sharing and, master blasting it out. So.
Yep, for sure. So. All right. Sounds like we're good.
Yep.
Thanks again. And we'll catch you guys next week.
Yep. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Later.